of our training camp tour, coming to you from Florham Park, New Jersey, home of the New York Jets. Welcome into First Take, everybody. Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith, Molly Karam here with you. Gentlemen.
How are you?
What's going on?
You know, Molly, I'm in huge trouble today.
Why?
This man has his preseason magazines right in front of him.
Yeah,
He's got both pro and college magazines, and this is a home game for you, right? You're a New Jersey resident.
It is.
Right?
It is. I mean, I live in New Jersey, but I'm from Hollis, Queens. Let's never forget that.
Yeah.
And the New York Jets are New York.
Yes, they are.
New York
so,
as
so
well
Molly,
as the Giants.
This could be over in like 14 seconds or
Well,
something like that.
I don't think it's, I really don't know why you make it such a big deal. As far as I'm concerned, it's always that way.
Yeah.
It's always that way.
Yeah.
All right.
It's always that way.
You're
Good morning,
you're both
Molly.
focused, as always. Good morning. I'm fired up to be here. It's also a home game for Todd Bowles.
That's right.
He's going to join us on the show. Brandon Marshall, Antonio Cromartie, and Darrell Revis.
Oh, yes.
We've got awesome guests.
are our
We're looking
guys,
forward to
man.
that, right?
Yeah.
We kick things off with the Jets, though, rightfully so. As we mentioned, Rex Ryan is out. We were at the Bills yesterday. Todd Bowles is in. So it's a new era for Gang Green. New York also had several key additions this offseason. On offense, Brandon Marshall, Stephen Ridley, and Ryan Fitzpatrick joined the squad. And on defense, the Jets bring back Revis, Crow, and to anchor the quarterback position, of course. And the Jets have missed the playoffs now the last 4 seasons. Is this the year the Jets break through, Stephen A., and win the AFC East?
I'm not willing to go that far just yet because I don't want to sit there and disrespect the reigning, defending Super Bowl champion New England Patriots. Despite their bevy of losses, they still will have Tom Brady at some point this season. They will have Bill Belichick. They will have Gronkowski, and I don't think that you can sit there and definitively say, oh, this is the year they get upended. I will go this far, however. This is the best shot that the New York Jets or anybody in the AFC East has had in years to knock off the New England Patriots for supremacy within that division. Here's the deal. We omit the quarterback situation for a second because we know that's not very good for the New York Jets, who had the absolute worst passing attack in all of the NFL last year, ranked number 32. But you know something? Eric Decker was your number 1 receiver. Now, we all know that Eric Decker, to me, is not a number 1 receiver. I think he's talented. I think he's good, but he's not a number 1 receiver, okay? He's a number 2 guy. Well, you acquired Brandon Marshall from Chicago for a 5th-round pick. Now you've got a number 1 receiver. So you've got not only a number 1 receiver, but a number 1 receiver entering the final year of his contract, playing for new money to extend his career. You know he's going to be on a mission to have a big year. So you've got him. Eric Decker's your number 2. Jeremy Curley, this boy can play. He's your slot receiver. Jay Samaro and Cumberland, those boys at the tight end spot. Even though you've got some questions at your tackle spots or what have you, you still got the Brickenshaw Ferguson and Nick Mango there, both 10-year veterans who can sit there and spearhead that offensive line, even though it's something that McCagnon is going to have to address come next season. There's no doubt about that. Here's where you go and you say, okay, the New York Jets can really make some noise. Despite all the question marks, despite starting a second-year dude in Milner, okay? All right, that was your number 1 corner. He was your number 1 corner. He didn't show up to play his rookie year until the month of December, okay? But he was your number 1 corner last year.
Yeah.
Your passing attack ranked 14th. Your defense overall ranked 6th. So what do? Not only do you go out and get arguably the elite corner in the game in Darrell Revis.
He is.
You get his former compatriot who was in Arizona last year, and Antonio Cromartie, who's back in the house, and they come on the show with us to talk about how the Jets were a possibility before he signed just a few days later.
It's huge.
Then after that, you got this kid Screen from Cleveland who can ball, who, by the way, has been making a whole bunch of noise in training camp.
Okay.
You kept David Harris. You still got Cope, you got Muhammad Wilkerson. Now, the Sheldon Richardson thing is a devastating blow, and we all know that. But they drafted this kid Williams, Leonard Williams, out of USC, who's supposed to be a stud. So their secondary is elite.
Yeah.
Their front 7 is legit, although it may not be. It has to prove it's elite. But their secondary is elite. I look at that and I say, look at all those components. The Jets could easily have one of the top 2 defenses in the game. And offensively, the only question mark about them really right now, because you got Ridley from New England, you got you got that kid from St. Louis, Zach Stacy. You still got Chris Ivory here. Bilal Powell's still here. So I'm like, your running back strong. Your offensive line is decent. Your receiving corp is good now. Your tight end spot is good. The question is the quarterback. I don't expect Geno Smith to be the quarterback.
Okay.
I expect it to be Ryan Fitzpatrick.
All right.
I know they're starting off with Geno Smith getting the edge. Who cares? That doesn't mean that he'll be starting game one. I think it'll be a veteran like Ryan Fitzpatrick who will keep the turnovers to a minimum, who's got the capability to win some games. And I'm of the mindset that the New York Jets, considering the question marks for the New England Patriots on defense, losing both Revis and Browner, not being the same defensively, I think the Jets have a shot to win the division this year. I think this is their best shot in ages to pull it off, as well as for anybody else within the division.
Okay, yeah. Yesterday, at the end of our show, up in Buffalo, or near Buffalo, didn't you start to edge, as I clearly picked the Patriots to win the East, didn't you start to edge toward not so fast? That's what I was hearing. I thought you were edging toward picking the Jets.
Our question was, what were the Bills? We were at the Bills camp, and what were the Bills going to be able to do, and whether they were going to be the team to beat. And we said no.
Okay.
We both said no.
But
and
you said you're not ready to proclaim New England the outright champion, the obvious champion.
They are the
division.
favorite. Skip, it would be blasphemous and stupid for me to say that a team with Tom Brady on it squared against a team led by Geno Smith.
Okay.
I mean, clearly the New England Patriots is their division to lose. I just think that the Jets, you can't definitively say that the Jets have no shot.
Okay, I'm going to definitively say the Jets have no shot.
Okay.
And I want to tell you from my heart, I am extremely intrigued by this Jets team for all the reasons both of you just pointed out. I am extremely intrigued by the AFC East this year, and I will be the first to tell you, whenever these teams match up, I'm watching every game that they play. I don't care if it's Buffalo versus the Dolphins. That's intriguing to me this year. It's different this year because obviously Rex went to Buffalo. He's not here anymore. These guys loaded up on defense, and I'm willing to give you this point. Right here, right now, the Jets' defense is a little better than the Patriots' defense, but I'm only going to give you a little bit better, okay? And it's only because this team has Revis and that team no longer has Revis. But you nailed it, and I don't want to belabor this because everybody knows how I feel. But one team has Tom Brady and the other team does not have Tom Brady. The other team has, I don't know, it may be Geno, it may be Fitzpatrick. I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if it's Bryce Petty, the kid I love, but he's clearly a rookie out of Baylor.
I like Bryce Petty.
Okay, and I do. And I think he's the future here, but I don't know if he's the present here. But I look at the Patriots, and you pointed this out. Bill Belichick didn't leave and come to the Jets, right? He's still in New England. He will still coach a defense that has two stud pass rushers who will only get better. And Ninkovich, and obviously coming off the other end is, who am I thinking? Chandler Jones.
Gotcha.
Okay, and then you still have Jamie Collins, and you still have Dante Hightower, and Gerard Mayo is coming back. And the safeties are deep and experienced, starting with McCourty and Patrick Chung. And I don't know who the corners are going to be, but there are a whole bunch of them, starting with Malcolm Butler, who saved the Super Bowl, and even the addition of a Bradley Fletcher, who was a target of yours last year, right?
Well, a target?
Yeah.
A target? Well, he's lucky to be in the league.
Okay, watch Bill Belichick turn him into a player.
Okay, that's fine.
Belichick likes him because there's some reason, because they scrimmaged against that team last year.
Well,
in the preseason.
I'm not rooting against him. I hope he does well, because I don't wish on any professional player what happened to Bradley Fletcher against Des Bryant last year. That was just flat out embarrassing. That's all I'm saying.
All right, but still, I look at a Logan Ryan. He's a pretty good player, and I'm thinking, look, there's no Revis, but I'm going to throw this out. Revis did have one really bad day last year. Remember this against the Ravens at home in the playoffs? Revis got torn up. He got toasted that game. And what happened? Tom Brady and company saved that day. And Tom Brady was the Super Bowl MVP. And Tom Brady is going to come back with an all-time 2007 style vengeance this year.
Well, the difference between you and I in that mode of thinking is only in this sense.
Yeah.
There is one way to stop Tom Brady. You know what that way is? Keep him off the field. And if you're talking about the New York Jets and they're going to try to engage in a ground and pound running attack and a ball control offense, you're talking about chewing up the clock. You're talking about moving the chains, whether it's with the Zach Stacy, whether it's with the Stephen Ridley, who's fumble prone, and we know that, whether it's with the Bilal Powells and the Chris Ivies of the world, who have proven themselves to be formidable backs for the New York Jets. If you can do that, and you've got a Brandon Marshall, a Jason Morrow, a Cumberland, a Eric Decker, okay? If you have these guys, all right, then you're keeping guys off the field. If you can move the chain, now mind you, everything doesn't have to manufacture itself into a touchdown or a field goal. Sometimes it's not going to pan out that way. But you're talking about the Jets having the worst passing attack in all of football last year. You're talking about Geno Smith committing 41 turnovers in the last 2 years. You're talking about that kind of stuff. If you can eliminate that and just move the chains and chew up clock, and all of a sudden, you're going to humble a lot of guys, because not only is the defense going to be elite and on the field for you, but they're going to be rested when they're on the field because they've got a team that knows how to move the ball. I think that's the way you can beat New England because, again, you're talking about keeping Tom Brady off the field. And I think that matters.
Okay, last X factor. I really like Todd Bowles. I like what I've heard from Todd Bowles. I love what he did, obviously, at Arizona, especially last year when he was the assistant coach of the year in the National Football League.
Okay.
I never know how it will translate for a man to go from coordinating to being the man, the head coach, and trying to run the whole show, especially when you have to match up with a Bill Belichick.
Where I disagree with that, Skip Bayless, is that he's got Mike McCagnon, who's already spent about $100 million, went out and got Revis, got a Brandon Marshall, got Ridley and all of these boys, made the necessary changes, got Cromartie, and not only is there a clear vision, but what I love about Todd Bowles is that I'm seeing a coach that's not ignoring the offense. Rex Ryan was very, very flattered by the compliment that you extended to him, which I concur with when you called him one of the great defensive minds in the game today, even better than Bill Belichick. Even better than Bill Belichick. He said thank you. Here's the problem with his gratitude towards you yesterday. He's a head coach, not a defensive coordinator. And it's his job to know about offense and special teams just as much as you know about defense. And the fact that he had no problem with you praising him as a defensive wizard while it completely ignoring two other components says to me that's something he needs to work on. You can't say that. Try telling Todd Bowles that right now. I dare you to tell Todd Bowles that. Todd Bowles,
I will ask him about that. I will tell him, but I'll ask him.
I'm willing to bet the house Todd Bowles will go like this. Well, you know, I'm a head coach now. It ain't just about the defense.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. And he's paying attention to both.
Okay.
I will be watching.
To recap, you say the Jets have no shot to win the AFC East, and you say there's a chance.
I'll give them a 25% chance.
Okay, the Jets last won the division in 2002 because the Patriots have just dominated the last 6 years thanks to Tom Brady. Up next, we are discussing him. One of his private emails has been revealed. We'll talk about it after the break. This is First Take
Skip wants to talk about this.
We need to get into it.
Oh, Lord.
His private emails. I don't like how this is all breaking down, guys. He does.